today we're going to be talking about the chest fly and the dumbbell chest press. Two exercises that I think are a staple in everybody's push or chest day routines, as I believe they should be. Now, when we're talking about the chest fly, it is a little bit more controversial than the dumbbell chest press, and there's a couple reasons for that. So I'm going to break down the chest fly for you guys first, tell you why I like it, tell you why some other trainers don't like it, and the things that you can look out for. All right, so reason number one why I like a chest fly is because to grow your chest, to put some good size on your chest, to get good strength in your chest adduction, when we're bringing our arms in like this, right, it's very important, right? That is one of the major actions of the chest muscles, adduction, bring your arms together. When you do this, you can just stand up and do this and squeeze, and you're gonna feel the chest muscles activate. So that is a great way to put mass, put strength, put size on your chest. Now, we do that a little bit when we're doing a bench press, we do that a little bit when we're doing a dumbbell chest press, but obviously we're gonna get more, right, when we're coming outside like this and we're doing some abduction and then coming in and then squeezing concentrically. So I'm gonna start with some light weight. That is the number one mistake that I think people make when they're doing a chest fly. First things first is the weight. People wanna go so heavy on a chest fly. Guys, when we're talking about bringing our humerus, rotating backwards, right, when we're doing this, we can't handle as much weight as when we do a press, right? When we're rotating back like this, right, when we're coming away from the midline and we're going away from the body, you can't handle as much here in this position as you can when you're doing a press and your elbows and your arms are closer in, right? You're closer to the mid, you're closer to where the weight is. So as the weight gets further away from our body, it becomes harder to handle. So go nice and light when you're doing a chest fly. Second thing, when we're performing the fly, as I step up, some people you'll see have their weight way up here near their shoulders. So as they're laying on the bench, as they're doing a standing fly, the weight, as opposed to being here lined up with the chest as it should be, right, line of resistance here, it is too high up. So they're doing a chest fly on the bench like this. They're coming down like this, so they're putting a ton of strain on their shoulders as it is. And if you mess up during a chest fly, you can already be putting a lot of strain on your shoulders. So if you add that to that, you're really making a bad decision. When we get to an overextended position, right? That's the other mistake people make, is they get to an overextended position, they bring their arms way too far back. At that position, guys, I'm overextending my chest muscles and I'm putting a ton of strain on the front of my humerus here, which is where the pec muscles attach, right? So you gotta think of your pecs as a net that goes from your sternum to the front part of your humerus. When you overextend that, you're putting your shoulder exposed in a dangerous position. You can really hurt yourself. So when doing a chest fly, guys, I need you to focus on those things. Number one being, don't go super heavy on the weight. This is not about your ego. Leave your ego at the door. Line your hands up with the pecs as they should be. Keep those elbows bent at the end of the exercise. Bring them together. You get a really good squeeze in your chest. When you get to here, this is the other mistake that people make. They're not squeezing their chest. So we're bringing it back. We're stretching out the chest. I'm keeping the elbows bent at the end. All right? Bring them together, straighten out the arms, and squeeze those pecs at the end. Because again, people like to make those mistakes. They like to bring their arms too high, they like to overextend their arms, and then when they bring them forward, they're not actually actively engaging and squeezing the pecs. So those are the things you want to look out for. Those are the things you want to do when performing a chest fly to keep it safe and to make sure you're getting the right amount of adduction without hurting yourself. I'm going to give you guys 3 points that you again should look out for while performing this exercise to get the most out of it. So point number one, guys, obviously, like I just mentioned before, we can handle more weight in this position because of the fact that my elbow is gonna be closer to my body, my hand, the weight, the load's gonna come closer to my body, and we're gonna be doing more of a pressing exercise. We're gonna do more of a pushing exercise, less of a rotation and an adduction exercise, so we can handle more weight naturally, which leads me to my first point. When performing this exercise, do it on a scale, obviously, of a lower to a medium to a higher weight. A lot of people will just start right with their 50s, their 55s, their 45s, they'll jump right to like 85, 90% because they think of this exercise as the big brother of that exercise, and they're like, oh, well, I went really light on the chest flies, so I should jump right into some really heavy presses. Now, I don't discourage you to go heavy, but I encourage you to work at a pace where you're going from light to medium to heavy to get warmed up. Because although that exercise is gonna provide blood flow, it's gonna provide chest activation, muscle activation, you still don't wanna jump right into a super heavy press. I've seen it happen where people get injured because they're going from 15, 20 pounds to 60, 65, and they're jumping right into a heavy press. So again, tip number one, safety first always. Perform safe sets. Don't go too heavy on your first set. Point number two, when performing this exercise, guys, when you get to really heavy weights, you're gonna see people do this a lot. They're gonna lean back and they're gonna try and lift the weights up like this with just their arms. What you're gonna get there once you get to a certain weight is a ton of pressure on your elbow. You can see as I'm bringing the weights up like this, where's all that weight going to? My elbow, the arm angle is no longer at 90. I'm very close and I'm putting a lot of strain on the elbow. So when pushing weights up, when they get to a super heavy position, what I want you guys to do is to go up on your toes, make sure the weights are straight on your thighs. We're gonna lean back, kick the legs up like this. So if I slow it down, slow motion, you can see my elbows are at 90, safer position. Kick the weights up, then we go to perform the exercise. Same thing when I come down, you can either drop them if it's too heavy, or thighs up, and then bring them down safely. Point number 3, when we're doing a press, watch the elbows. When the elbows come too high up, right? Again, we're putting a lot more stress on the shoulders than we are the chest. So if you can see my elbow angle, right? As I go up and as I come down, they're staying lined up. Again, the handles, the weight, the load that's coming across my chest, not across my shoulders. You're gonna see people a lot come down to the bottom of the exercise. I see it all the time with clients and other people in the gym, and their elbows start to pop up like this, and as they're pressing, you can start to, you can see them start to come up and almost externally rotate their humerus and get into a very dangerous position. So that tip is almost the most important. Just like the third one on the chest fly, watch out for where you are positioned, because your positioning can result in injury. So as I'm coming up, again, my elbows are tucked. So at the bottom, elbows are tucked, and as I'm coming up, again, I'm pushing, bringing the weights together, and as I go down, make sure you're not gonna externally rotate and keep those elbows high up, because that will put you in a very dangerous and exposed position. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and subscribe down below if you did like this content. In my next couple of videos, we're gonna switch it up. We're gonna do some mindset, some nutrition. We are always gonna keep the training in there. I just wanna make sure that I'm not boring you guys with just the training talk, although that is what I love to do. But I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, again, please like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton, and I really appreciate it. If you watch this video, if you made it to the end, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate that as well, and I will see you guys in the next one.